It's the night before Halloween. Tupac is in Georgia performing at Clark Atlanta University's homecoming when his show is stopped abruptly because he was smoking that broccoli. So, he and his crew left in about 7 cars, headed to the after party at his hotel room at the Sheraton. Not too far from where Tupac and his crew is at, meet Kendall Hunter, who was also out that night on the road heading to a party. Realizing he was going the wrong way, so he pulls over to a side driveway to turn around. Before he could back up, he's stopped by 3 angry pedestrians walking, 2 men and a female, who clearly are upset. Kendall could immediately tell the group was heavily intoxicated. They started screaming at him that he needs to learn how to drive, and one of the men walked up to his window, and a surprised Kendall rolls it down. The man screams, "F*** you," so Kendall replied back, "F*** you too," and rolled his window back up. As he continues to back out the driveway, the irate man starts following his car, getting behind it, shouting curse words and slurs. And he is now backed out in the middle of the road. When the man starts hitting his driver window, Kendall's now had enough, gets out of his vehicle. The angry man then swings and hits him. It turns into a full-on fight. As they both trade in some punches, the other guy decides to jump in. Kendall's trying his best to fend them both off. And this is all happening while blocking the flow of traffic in the middle of the street, with onlookers seeing 2 white men beating up on a black guy. And things got worse when one of the men pulls out a gun and points it right at him. He is shocked and scared at the same time, fearing for his life. More cars are starting to pile on the road, causing traffic. All of a sudden, from a shadowy figure in a row of cars, they hear a voice of a man yell, "Yo, what are y'all doing? Leave him alone." The men fighting yells back slurs and tells the man to go away and mind his business. But the bystander doesn't, and instead starts to approach them. Unknown to everyone is Tupac, who tells them again, "Leave him alone." With the 2 men distracted, Kendall breaks away, hops in his car, and speeds off. The man with the gun now walks right up to Tupac, tells him to run away. Tupac lifts his shirt, revealing his Thug Life tattoo, and says, "This is Thug Life, we don't run nowhere." And by everyone's surprise, the man gets closer and points the gun, now at Tupac. And quickly, he takes the butt of his gun and shatters the window of Tupac's car. Then immediately after, runs away. As both men now are trying to flee the scene, Tupac yells to his cousins, "Hand me my gun." Surprised and confused, they all decided to ignore him. Realizing no one wanted to hand it over, he takes it upon himself, walks around the car, grabs his gun, then tells everyone to get down. The 2 men now are almost 40 yards down the street. In the pitch black dark, Tupac gets down on one knee, takes aim, and fires 3 shots, leaving everyone shocked. Takes his hoodie off and sets the gun on the ground. His cousin William approaches him, picks the gun up, and says, "You had to have missed." Pac replied, "Nah, I shot the motherfuckers." Everyone is astonished with what they just witnessed, and like nothing just happened, Tupac hops back in his car and tells his crew it's time to go, and everyone else hops back into their vehicles, quickly headed to the hotel. Once arriving, his cousin William steps aside to take the gun and hides it in a fire extinguisher cabinet on a random floor in the stairway. Now inside the hotel room, everyone is hyped with what Tupac did. Can't believe what they just witnessed, how he basically saved a random black guy who was being attacked. Some of them noticed though how Tupac is very calm and stoic. His cousin William is surprised to see how regular Tupac seems, considering what just happened. And he gets up, tells everyone to quiet down. He has a new song he would like everyone to listen to. He puts in a tape, and for the first time ever, playing from the speaker is his new unreleased song, Dear Mama. And the room is now quiet, with everyone vibing to the song. You can now see the cop lights shining through the windows. And soon after, as expected, cops come knocking at the door and questions what took place. They also confirm the 2 men were shot, one in the butt and the other in his lower back through the hip. But the most surprising detail was that they were 2 off-duty cops. And Tupac without any hesitation steps up, tells them he did it, immediately gets taken away in handcuffs, and eventually booked at the Atlanta police station. The next morning, all major news publications reported rapper Tupac shot 2 Atlanta cops. His manager, publicist, mother, Afeni Shakur, soon arrives in Atlanta. Tupac gets bail and bonds out to make his court appearance the same day. Also, the 2 men who were off-duty cops were there as well, with their wounds and bandages. His case was postponed for a future date. Tupac was surprised to see all the news reporters outside and how he was being portrayed as a violent criminal vigilante just shooting cops. But to show how he felt is when he did the infamous strut out of the courtroom. And outside the courtroom, he spoke his frustrations to the news reporters and how they are only around when it's surrounded by a negative story. And unfortunately, this whole case placed an even bigger target on his back by law enforcement, who already didn't like what he represented or his lineage of his family. He books a flight back to New York to continue filming his role in the movie Above the Rim. As far as the case went, months from their first court appearance, now at their final court appearance for the charges is when it's discovered the 2 off-duty cops stole the gun used that night from an evidence locker at their station, so it was illegally in their possession. Coupled with witnesses like the victim himself, Kendall, who testified against the cops, pointing out them as the aggressors. All charges were eventually dropped, leaving Tupac a free man. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on our future videos. Thanks for the support.